first thoughts are that was the most lopsided 5-2 game I've ever seen. If it wasn't for Kieran Milan, that game would have been 12-2. We look like men. They look like men playing with boys tonight. At least we kept them under 50 shots. It was a well-refereed game. We deserved all the penalties we got. We took some real stupid ones. And one of the reasons why they went 1 for 7 in the power play was because Kieran Milan was so good, because they had a lot of good chances.
Any positives?
Todd?
Any positives?
Kieran Milan.
Coach, you guys seem to.
Joey Pereira gave us a good game. Joey Pereira played real hard. I thought Garrett Nooney gave us a good game. Hard pressed to find anybody else.
It looked like you guys struggled obviously in the first period, and then looked like you maybe had turned a corner a little bit, killing off that 5-on-3. Can you talk about if there was any momentum picked up there, and just sort of what happened?
There was a time in the second period we were playing pretty well too. They were out shooting us pretty badly right off the. I think it was 9-1 right off the bat, and then we got back in a little bit. Then we killed off the penalty. It was 9-1 before the 5-on-3, and then we get back in a little bit. First 10 minutes of the second period, but in general, it was just a. My team didn't seem like they were ready to play, and that shows up in losing face-offs. That shows up in pucks bouncing off your stick. That shows up in not being able to get away from anybody in the corners. That shows up in not being able to stay with somebody on the defensive side in the corners. That shows up in a whole bunch of areas. It looks like we just come up here and thought, I wonder what this is going to be, instead of getting ready to play one of the best teams in the nation.
You said yesterday that it had been a pretty good week of practice.
It was a great week of practice.
Do you have any idea what might have caused the team not to be ready?
If I had that, I'd be making $1 million.
Think it was more about preparedness, or was it about a disparity in talent between you and UNH?
More about what was the first thing?
Just preparedness and the team being ready.
Well, there's a lot of difference in the experience here. They got a senior and junior team. We got a freshman sophomore team. The only place they're inexperienced is in goal, and we didn't expose that. And he's played great, so I don't think you can expose that. He's given a great first half so far. But in general, it's that team is a talented team. We may or may not. I think we're a talented team. That team was ready to play. We were not.
It did seem like UNH picked up a couple of sort of lucky bounces. The one off the back of the glass, and then the first goal they got where the puck sort of sat there underneath Milan. Is that luck in your mind, or is that just creative?
I think there's bounces. There's no question there's bounces, and sometimes they bounce your way, and sometimes they don't. We could have had 2 or 3 goals in the second period right around the crease, and did a couple of great plays and missed the goals. We hit the pipe and they come down the other end. I wanted them to look at not the goal they scored, but the goal we might have scored when we hit the pipe on that end. So if that goes in, they don't get the other one. Maybe it's a game, but you take away the bounces and you take away the opportunities. The way the game unfolded was a dominating game by UNH.
You didn't mention the penalties. I just want to know sort of what your reaction was to the Escobedo call and the game misconduct. You thought that was the right call there?
The Escobedo call for hitting from behind?
Yes.
He hit him on the numbers into the boards, exactly the way it's supposed to be called. What aggravates me, it wasn't called that way last weekend, twice, in 2 different games. But it was called this weekend, and in fact, I went to the referee right after the first period when he came back. I would come up with the second period and said, that was the right call. That's the way it's supposed to be called. I'm tired of watching guys get hit right in the numbers, and then the referee calls it boarding. They called it correctly tonight. It was absolutely deserved.
What did you tell your team after the game to try and get things turned around for tomorrow night?
I told them to get themselves ready and start now to get themselves ready, because they didn't get themselves ready coming up here.
How much did the Escobedo game misconduct handcuff you guys at the blue line? I mean, only 5 guys.
Well, you're playing 5 guys. We got a little tired. And in a big rink, too, you can get a little tired. There's no question that it's not a... we've had one of those already this year early on against UMass, and when you're playing 5 defensemen, especially when 3 of them are rookies. It's 3 out of the 5 guys are rookies out there for us, and we got them when you lose to sophomore defensemen. So it hurts a little bit. But as I said, you couldn't point to anything other than a real difference in overall effort and focus tonight between one corner and the other.
It seemed like there were a lot of long stretch passes. First time we've seen that since that tie against UMass, which you weren't too pleased to see back then. Was it more the rink dimensions tonight?
Say that again, a lot of what?
There were a lot of long stretch passes tonight, something we hadn't seen since that tie.
By them or by us?
By us, so it seemed.
I don't remember us completing 5 passes. I don't know if they were long stretches or.
Just longer passes.
We've been playing, trying to get people out and stretching. So we want to get the defensemen backed off the blue line and stretch out. So if we attempted those, that's okay. I don't remember that being. I don't remember them really hemming us in, forechecking us. They came at us at will when they wanted to. When they had possession of the puck, we didn't get it back.
Thanks, Coach.